Konnichiwa, minasan. O genki desu ka? Welcome to the intermediate course of my channel. Let's learn Japanese with Eric. If you have minimal background in the Japanese language or have limited knowledge of Japanese particles, adjective, and basic verb conjugation, or how Japanese sentences are put together, please review the playlist of the basic course, which covers lessons 1 to 31, and watch the video you need makeup lessons on. Otherwise, let's begin. Hajimemashou. In this new lesson, we will learn how to make requests, as in please do this, please do that. We use the pattern te-kudasai, which means using the te form of the verb plus kudasai. Other less polite variations are te-kure, and simply using the te form of the verb. We will focus on te-kudasai, which is the polite form. Kudasai literally means please do for me. This lesson will not touch on requesting for things, which was covered in lesson 10, and uses the pattern noun wo kudasai. If you recall the 10 basic verb conjugations, the conjugation we use for request is the te form of the verb. As in our past lessons, let's do a quick review of how to make the te form. There are three major categories of Japanese verbs: the Category 1 or root-dropping verbs, Category 2 or last hiragana changing verbs, and Category 3 or the irregular verbs. For a more detailed explanation of how to form the basic verb conjugations, please review lessons 26 to 30. We will also be using verbs introduced in these lessons in our examples here. If you want to know more about basic Japanese sentence construction, please review lessons 22 to 24, all in our English playlist. To make the te form of root-dropping verbs, drop the ru and add te. For example, the verb taberu, which means to eat. Drop the ru, add te to form tabete, which is our te form. For last hiragana changing verbs, the last hiragana of the dictionary form is not dropped, but changes to something else. These are the 9 kinds of endings: kugusu, bumunu, rutsu-u. To make the te form, ku becomes ite, gu becomes ide, su becomes shite, bumunu all turn to nde, and rutsu-u all become utte. For conjugating Category 2 verbs, it's the verb ending you need to pay attention to and what it turns into. As for the 5 commonly used irregular verbs, we only use suru, kuru, and iku to form requests. The other 2, aru and da, do not participate to form requests. The te form of suru is shite, kuru becomes kite, and iku becomes itte. For our examples, we will use very common verbs that cover all 3 categories of verbs and very common sentences. First example, please eat quickly. To eat is taberu, a root-dropping verb. In Japanese, hayaku tabete kudasai. Hayaku tabete kudasai. Hayaku is an adverb derived from the adjective hayai. To review adverbs, please see lesson 18 of our English playlist. Please look at this. To look is miru, also root-dropping. In Japanese, kore o mite kudasai. Kore o mite kudasai. Kore takes the particle wo to denote direct object, answers the question what of the verb. Look at what? This. Kore o. Now let's use Category 2 verbs. Please ask the teacher. To ask is kiku. In Japanese, sensei ni kiite kudasai. Sensei ni kiite kudasai. Sensei takes the particle ni, which indicates for whom something is done. To review how to use Japanese particles, please see lessons 22 to 24 of our English playlist. Please speak with Miss Suzuki. To speak is hanasu. In Japanese, Suzuki-san to hanashite kudasai. Suzuki-san to hanashite kudasai. Please drink the milk. To drink is nomu. In Japanese, gyunyu wo nonde kudasai. Gyunyu wo nonde kudasai. Please read the book. To read is yomu. In Japanese, 本を読んでください。本を読んでください。Please go home. To go home is 帰る。In Japanese, 帰ってください。帰ってください。Now let's have examples that use irregular verbs. Please come to the party. To come is 来る。In Japanese, パーティーに来てください。パーティーに来てください。Please go to Japan. To go is 行く。In Japanese, 日本に行ってください。日本に行ってください。Please study well. To study is 勉強する。And well is よく。In Japanese, よく勉強してください。よく勉強してください。Let's practice what we learned by translating these sentences into Japanese. The Japanese translation of individual words is written for you directly underneath the word, so it should be easy for you to form the Japanese sentence if you know how to conjugate the verb and use the right particles. Please open the window. In Japanese, 窓を開けてください。窓を開けてください。After you read the book, please return it. 本を読んでから返してください。本を読んでから返してください。Please work after school. 学校の後で働いてください。学校の後で働いてください。Now translate these Japanese sentences into English. The English translation of words is written for you underneath the Japanese words. 昼ご飯の前に泳いでください。昼ご飯の前に泳いでください。In English, please swim before lunch. 黒板を消してください。黒板を消してください。Please erase the blackboard. 好きな車を選んでください。好きな車を選んでください。Please choose the car that you like. ここの本と雑誌を読んでください。ここの本と雑誌を読んでください。Please read the books and magazines here. 時間がまだあるからもう一曲を歌ってください。時間がまだあるからもう一曲を歌ってください。Because there's still time, please sing one more song. 自分のランチを作ってください。自分のランチを作ってください。Please make your own lunch. Now, as we mentioned in lesson 18, the verb suru, which means to do, is a very useful verb when combined with adverbs. You can make requests like, please make something this way or that way by saying, 何々してください. Try to guess what these Japanese sentences mean. これを大きくしてください。これを大きくしてください。Please make this big. この机をきれいにしてください。この机をきれいにしてください。Please make this table clean. 指示を簡単にしてください。指示を簡単にしてください。Please make the instructions simple. Now translate the following sentences into Japanese. Please wait here. Use kure instead of kudasai. The word please is in brackets because the Japanese equivalent isn't really that polite and already borders on being a command. In Japanese, ここで待ってくれ。ここで待ってくれ。Please go to the washroom. Again, use kure. In Japanese, トイレに行ってくれ。トイレに行ってくれ。Please practice Japanese with me. Now this time, just use the te form of the verb and use boku instead of watashi. In Japanese, 僕と日本語を練習して。僕と日本語を練習して。To summarize, in this new lesson, we learned how to make polite requests using the formula te-kudasai, where we use the te form of the verb plus kudasai, which literally means please do for me. Nani nani o te-kudasai. Less polite variations of this use te-kure, or simply the te form of the verb. The less polite versions are used by someone of a higher social stature to someone who's a subordinate. They're also perfectly fine to use among close friends and family members. However, the best one to use as a foreigner in Japan is the polite form, te-kudasai. You can never go wrong with this. So this ends our lesson on making requests. Hope you learned something new and see you in the next lesson on how to make negative requests or nonde kudasai. Ja, mata ne! If you're serious about becoming fluent in Japanese, it's important to practice daily, learn grammar, and build up vocabulary. My whole course is designed to give you a strong basic foundation in the Japanese language that you can build solidly on. So please click like, share, or subscribe, and watch the next video in the series. Nihongo no benkyou ni ganbatte kudasai. Ja, mata ne!